Hello there and welcome back to another video on my channel. How are we doing today? As I said in yesterday's video, today's video is going to be my New Year's goals, specifically about my business. So let's go. So the first category that I'm going to talk to you about is my YouTube. So in terms of YouTube, I'm really happy with everything that I'm doing. I like the content I'm posting. There are some things that I would tweak slightly, but that's what I will do in the new year, which is the whole point. I do love what I do. I love just sitting and being able to talk to you guys and give my thoughts about things, show you things that I think might help you, especially in terms of the gluten-free, lactose-free and yeast-free baking. And I just really love what I do. So the first thing I'm going to speak about is the fact that we're, as I said in yesterday's video, we're moving house. This provides loads of possibilities for me because down in the studio where I'm currently filming, I love this. My grandmother got it done up for my uncle and he didn't want to use it, so thankfully she let me use it, and that was the whole reason that I was able to start my baking, drink making and cooking videos, and also just to give me space to be able to create a background that I like and to make me more comfortable. Plus I'm not on top of them and taking up their time for me filming, and you know, it just really worked having this down here, and it was a complete godsend because without this I don't think I really could have started this channel. So that being said, it means that my mum's going to have a bedroom hopefully, and I'm hopefully going to have my own bedroom, and what I want to do is get a lot of my stuff out of storage, all my films and all my books, and I want to create lovely backgrounds with them. I've got a very good idea of how I want my in the kitchen videos to go, which is baking, cooking and drink making, and I've got a rough idea in my head how the what I call Friday videos are going to go, which is just me talking to you like this. I really love this background. I love the way it's set up, but I don't like that this is completely bare, but this is plasterboard, so I can't really knock anything into it without the fear of damaging something. So in the new place it's going to be proper walls and everything, so I can put up posters and know everything's going to be fine, and I can set up my DVDs and everything and just do it in my own space, but I'm still in the house, and yeah, it's going to be really exciting to do all that. So to finish that point off with a bit more of a rounded statement is that I cannot wait to get the backgrounds the way I want it. As I say, I'm very happy with this, but I will be able to finalise everything, have everything set up the way I want it, so nothing needs moving. At the moment, this camera that I'm using is on a tripod that I have to constantly double check with my spirit level that it's completely straight. And I need to move it from this tripod to a different tripod to do my baking videos up on a cupboard that is currently behind you, and it's very much nothing's set in place, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for the bedroom and my mum's bedroom, who she is letting me film in that room as well. So I'm very grateful to my mum, always have been and always will be. So the last thing I'm going to say in terms of the moving house is that that will provide content for me as well, because it will mean that I am setting up my wardrobe, which is what you guys seem to really loved. I remember, I think the top video I had in terms of the clothing was the night out outfits, and I'm also going to be purging my clothes because I think I've got quite a lot, especially in storage, so I want to go through a load of them and work more of a capsule wardrobe, which I can't promise that is going to happen because I do love my clothes, but I do want to purge them a little bit. Me setting up my filming areas will be videos. It will just, the whole thing will be a load of content, which would be really good, and I think you guys might enjoy it because I particularly love watching people move house, watching people set things up, watching people organising, so that would be, I hope, really interesting for you guys, and I just can't wait to get started on it, to be honest. I've already started planning and I'm not even there, it's crazy. So going on about the background, the second point is equipment. I want to start getting and investing in not better equipment, because I'm incredibly happy with the equipment I've got. It's just different equipment. So I don't currently have a microphone. Not that I think that that's a huge problem, and specifically in the new house I doubt it's going to matter as much as it does here, but you can often hear in the background of my videos, even though I try to cut it as much as possible, I live right next to a train line, and as much as possible I don't want you guys to have to hear that. It must, to me, obviously to me talking to you when I hear it I think it's nothing, but the mic on this camera is so good that it picks that up almost as loud as me talking to you. As you can hear one coming, it will possibly sound like that is louder than me talking to you, so I feel I have to pick my voice up slightly, and it's just very stressful. So depending on how filming goes in the new house, because I don't think that's on a major traffic road, it can't be actually, or the fact that it's not got a train line near it or anything, hopefully I won't need to invest in mics. But if I do, I've got an idea of the one I want to get, and I just think that if I did that, it would make me feel a bit more professional. Yeah, kind of. It will fill me with a bit more confidence, which is good. However, I clearly don't have that lack of confidence talking to you guys, because I'm doing it right now. There have also been some camera kits that I have seen, particularly in Argos. I saw a vlogging camera kit, which, although expensive, will give me another camera, another tripod, another set of things. And then I think there's another one, because there's one that's selling the Canon G7X Mark II, and then one that's selling an EOS camera, and I'm currently filming on the Canon G5X, which I absolutely love this camera. It's the first camera I ever bought when doing YouTube, and it was quite hefty, but it has lasted me a really long time, and it's not, touch wood, anywhere near conking out or anything. It's doing excellently, and I love you, camera. Please don't fail me yet. But over the next year, I'm hoping to get these other camera kits, because then I'll have 3 cameras and I can work for the better things. You know, for when we move, I don't know in terms of content what will change. I've got ideas, but in terms of that, I'd like to pick things up and do other things as well as what I'm doing. But it will be nice to have them in my arsenal. I can start practicing with them, start using them, see what works better for certain videos. And yeah, I would like to get them if I can, but they do have quite hefty price tags. I'm kind of waiting till the January sales to see if they go down a little bit. But it will be really, really interesting if I can get them, just because I'm not techie. I'm not like iJustine, where I know what an i7 processor, Intel i7 processor or things like that is or are. So the fact that they've completely created a kit for vlogging and a kit for, I think it's just filming, I don't know, I'll try and link it in the description if I can find it, but the fact that they've done the work for me shows that they know what works. So it would just save me a lot of favours if I can get that and have 3 cameras behind me, 2 more tripods, and hopefully that will just make life easier for me in the long run. So another thing in terms of equipment, although is technically going on to my next point about content, is that I'm thinking of starting doing gaming videos. It is quite hard for me to work out in my head what they are, which sounds stupid because I watch Markiplier and I love his videos. I love the gaming videos and everything. I particularly love his Super Mario Maker 2s. Super Mario Maker and Super Mario Maker 2 videos, although I love every single video that he does. Yeah, I do. I love him. But I don't understand how to film a gaming video. I can't wrap my head around it. And I've got so many games consoles and games that are currently in storage that I would like to get out to start filming for you guys. Because what I would like to do is start filming the games, the campaigns, which I think is the player 1 story mode, or just story mode of the games that I played particularly when I was younger. But I would also like to go into the retro gaming, which was a bit more before my time, so the Super NES system from Nintendo, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 and GameCube. I rocked the GameCube when I was younger. I don't know if I've still got it. I don't think I do. I've got a Wii. I haven't got a Wii U. I would like to get that. I would like to get a PlayStation 3, although I think I've still got that. I might get a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 5 when it comes out. But I would like to start, just basically like to start filming gaming videos. And I am currently doing, I've actually been doing research for a while, but currently doing research on how to film that. Because I don't understand when people say, oh no, it's the easiest thing to do. I don't know how to do it. I can't get my head around it, so I'm going to do a lot of reading and understanding about it to try and figure it out, and hopefully sometime next year, because I want to have a little bit of practice time editing it, filming it, make sure the content is right, make sure I'm coming up with useful content and fun content as opposed to just, I'm playing this game, I really like it. You know, so try and be a bit more animated, which I struggle with quite a lot, but I would like to get, you know, I want to give it a go. It looks a lot of fun when people do it, especially on the rage games, although I don't think my blood pressure could take a rage game, but you never know what's going to happen. So I would really like to get the equipment for that, start doing that, practicing, and hopefully sometime next year or the following year, be able to upload something like that for you guys. So now more onto content. I love what I upload. There are some things that I would change. There are some things that I would do with hindsight, learning what to do now, which is really good. I really enjoy everything that I do. I love the baking, I love the cooking, I love the drink making, I love doing Friday videos, I love doing film reviews, I love doing everything that I do. I don't want it to feel forced when I do it, which is a slight problem because sometimes I get very stressed out and things aren't where they're supposed to be. As I said previously, I have to move one camera to here and then there and that all takes a long period of time, which gets me really wound up before starting filming. And unfortunately I do try to hide it, but sometimes, especially when I'm editing, I can see it, I can see that, and I can remember that I found it hard, and I just don't want that. So if I can come up with content, particularly with the baking and that, if I can come up with content prior, practice it, do it, I will be a lot happier. And as I said, I love the content that I do. It's nothing amazing, it's nothing, you know, goes viral and things like that. I just like chatting. I just like talking to you guys and knowing that someone's listening. We're slowly building up this family, and it's through the content that I'm doing, and I just love it. I love this. I love being able to chat to you, know you're listening, create things that I hope you guys enjoy, and nothing's going to change about what I'm currently doing. The only thing I'm hoping to do is step it up slightly, and when I do, I cannot wait for you guys to see it. If there is anything that you would like me to see, that you would like to see me do on this channel, let me know in the comments below, and I will strive to do that for you. It's also keeping in mind like special days like Star Wars Day, Christmas particularly, as I have done this year. While you're watching this video, I have done a video for every single day in December, which at one point didn't seem to be doing, but I will leave the link in the playlist. I will leave the link to the playlist that I did for that in the description below if you're interested in watching them. And I had a lot of fun doing that, but I want to try and keep that just to December. I don't want to try and do many more special things in terms of that grander scale, because coming up with 30 days have September, April, June and November, 31 days of content isn't difficult, because a lot of these will copy like the Happy New Year message, the Christmas Day message, the goals, this particularly, and that they will all copy over to the following year, because it'll be interesting to see over the years how my goals have changed and what, you know, how this channel develops, and that will dictate a lot of things. But if I keep in mind special days like Star Wars Day, Valentine's Day, Easter I particularly enjoyed because I dedicated a week to that. So it was nice and simple, nothing difficult. I think I did a haul, couple of baking, couple of cooking. I don't think I did, oh no, I did do a drink. And then I did a table spread at the end, and that was nice and simple. Same with Halloween. Halloween is something that I would like to do the 30 days for, because I think that would be a lot of fun. The difficulty was that this year I was ill quite a lot, so I couldn't do it for that, but I pushed really hard so I could do it for Christmas. So keeping those in mind, that I would really love to do. And it's also just posting whatever I want, because sometimes, as I say, the content does feel forced, even though it's not intended. I do love everything I post, even though sometimes it feels forced, but that's not because of the content, it's because of me, it's because of my insecurities, it's because of my difficulties with certain things in terms of the filming. And hopefully being in the new house and sorting my mind out a bit next year will make that a bit easier for me. So posting whatever I want is essentially what I do anyway, but I want it to be also what you guys suggest. You know, I check how many views a certain video gets. If you guys enjoy that, I will try and duplicate it or try and mould it to a new style for you guys, so you're still getting the same interesting content, but there's a slight twist on it. I think very often videos that are really good are duplicates of what someone else has done, but they've put their own twist on it, and that's kind of what I want to do. So moving on from content now, let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing, as I said in the last video, is reading. I have quite a lot of reading and research to do in terms of making this channel better, making my business better, making content creative enough, because I'm not an entirely creative person. It's usually that I spark upon an idea and go, that's what I want to do, and I want to try and build that creativity through reading research, through reading and watching what other people have done. seeing what they do that's different to me and how I can, you know, match that level of interestingness, I suppose, and that also for me as well to be able to do that for you guys. So I've got a heck of a lot of research to read, and if I can dedicate an hour a week, you know, so it's nothing too stressful, it's nothing, oh no, I've got to dedicate an hour a day to reading and try and force it on myself. Whereas if I dedicate an hour a week to go over Z content, Z reading research, and see, oh, that will take 2 seconds to input, so we'll do that. You know, that would be really, really good. So that's something I definitely want to work on. And also to find more research about what I should and shouldn't be doing, because I know that there are some things that I'm possibly doing wrong. And if I can find content, if I can find research that easily shows me how to switch that up, that would be excellent. The second to last thing in terms of the YouTube, and I think it actually applies to a lot of things in my life anyway, is to prep way ahead. I mean, the Christmas stuff I had planned in August, September. It got changed around 100 times, but I had it down. I knew what I wanted to do. The problem was I then put my back out, my chest got really bad, so there were always obstacles in front of me. But if I can plan that in September, know what I'm doing, it doesn't matter if it changes a few times over, because I had the majority of it filmed in November. And then I spent December filming the odd few and T'ing and D'ing, i.e. that means titling and descripting the videos and adding the tags and doing all the background work for the videos. But the hard graft work of actually coming up with the content was done. So if I can do that for Valentine's Day, which is in 2 months now, 3, we'll say 2, we're nearly in January, 2 months, then it is Easter, then it's Star Wars Day, and there's probably a load of other dates I'm missing, but then it's, I've said Easter, then it is, oh blimey, I want to do things to dedicate to my family for their birthday, so if I can plan that ahead, that would be really, really good. Then there's also, so let's just skip a load, then there's my birthday. For my birthday month, I like to do things that I particularly absolutely want to do. Not that I wouldn't do them anyway, but if they're like the Virgin Mojito cupcakes and drink, that was me through and through. That's exactly what I like to drink, and I like the idea of making it into something else. So if I can come up with creative things that way, then that's my birthday done, so that's all special. Then October, I want that to be completely special. As I've said, I'd like to be able to do the 30 days, although I'm not putting that pressure on myself. I'd prefer just leave that for December. And then November's a bit of a null month in that nothing really special. There's no special occasions or holidays or anything like that. Particularly in England, there'll be holidays any day of the year everywhere else. Just in England, I don't know off the top of my head. Oh, that's not true. There's Remembrance Day. That's in November. There's another one. Ooh, Bonfire Night. They're the 2 in November that are special as far as I can remember. And then December's just, I want to do exactly what I did this year, next year, because I loved every single second of it. So if I can prep those 3 weeks, no, a month in advance, actually 2 months. If I know what I'm doing 2 months in advance, it gives me time to test everything, film it, edit it, and then if anything goes wrong, I've got time to redo it, then T&D it and get it up. Then I don't need to worry. The only thing is making sure the order is correct. With Christmas, it got very jumbled in terms of ordering the filming, but it all got done, you know, because I did it so far in advance, so it was absolutely excellent. So if I can get a bit more prepped ahead for next year and do it at least 2 months in advance, I think it will make my mind a bit better, it will make my business better because I'm not stressing about getting stuff done. It will make everything quicker, plus I'm getting quicker at editing, I'm getting quicker at T'ing and D'ing because I have set up a master document where things just change slightly. And yeah, so prep work is a huge part of what I need to do, and I need to work on it more, which is the whole point of next year, and that is exactly why it is a goal for next year. So the next part of this, although this is quite a minimal thing in total, actually no it's not, that's a lie, is titling my videos better. A lot of my videos, in terms of the baking more, I label them gluten-free, lactose-free and yeast-free, the product, then a dash thing, and then Vickie's Adventure dash baking with Vickiie, or dash cooking with Vickiie, or dash whatever it is. So that's not getting the views I want, and I think it may be because the name of the product is after the gluten-free, lactose-free and yeast-free, whereas because I put those in the tags, which are hopefully the things that the words that people type in to find something. If I can switch those round, it doesn't matter. Because if it's gingerbread men, gluten-free, lactose-free and yeast-free, it's written. So it's still in the title, but you're getting the name of it first, especially when I have to take my pictures so far away at the moment. That's something I want to fix in the new house anyway, and I'll get onto that another point. But if I can fix the titles out a bit better, that would do it, I think. So that's another thing I want to work on next year. As I say, it's quite a minimal thing, and it's all about A/B testing. So you try one thing, see if it works. If not, you try another thing, see if that works. And I'm not very with that, but I can give it a go, and I plan to. So that was the final thing in that category. So now onto the new category, which is a podcast. Podcast is something that I find quite interesting in terms of concept, because it's essentially a radio show, isn't it? So I would like to start one with my mum, because my mum is my best friend, my mum is my business partner, my mum is my everything, and I want to try and do something with her in terms of a podcast and see what happens. If it doesn't take off, doesn't take off. I've got a specific idea that I want to do for it, and I don't know whether to tell you, because I don't want someone else coming and nicking the idea. But it involves board games and things, and I just think that it's a fun thing to do. Me and my mum don't have a great deal of fun because we're always working on the next thing that needs doing, regardless if it's in the house or business or just helping family members out and everything. So we're constantly on the next thing. But this would just be a bit of fun that we could do together and no pressure. And if it took off, great. If it doesn't, who cares? You know, it's just something that me and my mum can do together. So in terms of that, the thing that I want to do with that is I printed off a couple of documents that have the main criteria of what you need. So you need microphones, obviously, but you need to understand how to film it, although my mum doesn't want to be on camera, so in terms of audio, film it, and editing it and working it out. You know, they're all things that I need to learn and I would really like to focus on. So that's another part of the reading, is that I want to read that lot as well and start putting some of that stuff into action, or at least to start building up to a point where I can put that into action. So that's that lot in terms of the podcast, because that's very, very early doors and very early stages. So now let's move on to the next and final category. So this category is like the end of the last video, is an other and more just overall to do with work. So as you will have seen in a video a long time ago, probably in about April or June, I think, yeah, somewhere around that time, I did a video explaining why I was giving up my blog, and I will leave that in the description for a bit more detail for you guys. But the essential problem was that I couldn't get it to work. Nothing was working, it kept getting hacked into, and there was no protection on it. And honestly, I just didn't have the money in the end to keep protecting it, because I later found out that I needed something called an SSL on it, and I bought that, malware. I bought malware for it, and that only covered me for 3 months. So it was just something that I couldn't afford to keep running, but I can do this instead, which is essentially the same sort of thing. So I was happy to pass on that for a good couple of years. Maybe I can pick it up earlier, depending on how things go in personal life and how much time I can dedicate to it, because I don't want to spread myself too thin and not be able to give you what you guys deserve in terms of written content and video content. So I gave that up, which freed up a load of my time. I am now freer to do loads of other work, and to be honest with you, not that I hated doing my blog, I loved it. It was just time consuming, and because I started this year, pretty sure I started doing 3 videos. No, I only did 2. The previous year I was doing 3 videos, 5 blog posts, and then having 2 days off. But all of that was constantly going round and round and round. And to be honest with you, even now with 2 videos, I'm barely keeping on top of editing. I am doing a good chunk of it. I mean, there's a great deal where I had November finished in August, you know, so I was doing a great job and all that. But without the blog and being there, there's no extra pressure, and I just like keeping it quite, you know, chilled with this, and I do enjoy this very, very much. So it made the switch less hard, which I was expecting to be very difficult for me. So I want to also, moving on to the next point, structure my work day better. As I said in the last video, I work from 8 to 10, then 11 to 1, and then 2 or 2:30 to 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then if I can fit work time in the evening, I will do more then. And it's not that it's a catch-22. Because I know I spend a long time working, but I also feel like I'm not spending enough time on it, which is a really big conundrum to try and figure out in my head, because I'm working all the time, but it still feels like not very much is being achieved. So I want to structure my day better, dedicate certain time to certain things. I mean, 8 till 10 I do admin work, 11 till 1 I do editing, and then from 2:30 to 3:34 I do editing, or I do other things that need pressing, you know, being done. So it's not that I need to work, I need to structure my day better, and I need to work smarter. I always say to my mum I need to work harder, and she said no, you need to work smarter. You need to work out what can be duplicated, what can save you time, what's not then being micromanaged, and so doing a job on top of a job on top of a job instead of just doing one big job, get that done. So I need to do that a lot more, and that's something I definitely want to work on next year in terms of structuring my day and learning how to work smarter, as well as working harder in that working smarter statement. And the final thing in terms of all of this, the same as the last video, is the 80-20. I knock myself down quite a lot because I don't feel I'm doing enough. I feel that I am not providing enough for you guys. I feel I'm not doing enough for my family. I feel I'm not doing enough for my mum. I feel that life is very, very hard for me specifically, which is just a load of rubbish, because life is life. Everyone finds it hard. But in terms of the 80-20, it's that I know then if I work 80% of the time at full speed, going well, without burning myself out, which I have done once or twice, which isn't any good for me, and I take a day off, or mainly I take off one day, which is a Friday or Thursday usually, and then if I go to my dad's I take that day off because my dad has no internet connection where he lives and things like that, so I physically can't necessarily do any work. I could probably do admin work, but you kind of need internet for everything nowadays. Blimey, how technology has grown since I was born is insane. So if I then know, if I work hard fast, know what I'm doing, put the dedicated time into the 80% of the working time and the week that I do, then if I get a cold, or if I get ill, or if I just don't feel good and can't face working, which does happen, you know, we can't always control our emotions, we can't always control if we're having a good day or bad day. Some things are just in a day up against you and there's nothing you can do about it. So on those days, if I know that I know then if I work for the 80% of the time that I can take that 20% off and know that I don't need to beat myself up about it, that I can, you know, work, just stress less. You know, with the 80-20, it just means that if I work the 80% of the time, the 20, it doesn't matter if I'm not having a good time, or if I'm not working, or other things can't control, because a lot of the time other things are in the factor. I don't always get a say in terms of how I work, when I work, what I work on. So yeah, work for the 80-20, and then it's less stressful. It's just really, really less stressful for me, and I think it will be a huge learning curve, just a huge good thing if I can work to that more than 90-10 or even 100 of always working, because then I beat myself up even more if I don't work. So I've finished spieling now and waffling about everything to do with my business, and the quick thing I just want to say is thank you for watching these videos, watching my videos in total. I really hope that you guys are enjoying these sort of life update goals, working towards things, because they are a huge part of what I find helpful for myself. So, you know, I just cannot wait for next year. I cannot wait to see what struggles I have, what challenges I have, and overcome them, and to be able to create new great content for you guys. So that is it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out all the links in the description, as I love them all and wouldn't put them there if I didn't. Let me know in the comments if you are a business owner or an entrepreneur, what your New Year's goals are, or your goals for your business particularly. And finally, don't forget to like, leave a nice comment and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you next time. Bye!